Today on the Relationship Renovation podcast, we are going to talk to you about this exciting new sort of expansion of how we're interacting with all of our listeners. We're going to talk about a way in which we think we're going to just explode this community of people who are dedicated to personal growth, who are dedicated to have an amazing, loving relationship. So stay tuned for this episode and jump on board with us in having the relationship that you deserve. Do you want to feel more emotionally and intimately connected with your partner? Then we have the tool that is exactly right for you. We have a program called Relationship Renovation at Home, and it is an amazing way for you and your partner to have a structured way weekly to work together.
Because we deserve awesomeness in our relationships.
Just go to our website, relationshiprenovation.com. At the top, there's a link to At Home program, and it will give you a free lesson if you want to just check it out and see if it's something that works for you and your partner. We know it will make a significant positive impact on your relationship.
Hello, all, and welcome to the Relationship Renovation podcast. I'm Tarah Kerwin.
And my name is EJ Kerwin. And today, it's right around the new year has just passed. We're embarking into 2024. And we want to share really what's at the heart of our mission.
Yes.
And how we intend to move forward and honestly make some requests out of all of you out there to
awesome.
help us make it happen.
We can do this.
Yes. So I think a great launching point, Tarah, is just start a little bit with the beginning. Like what started us on this journey together in relationship renovation?
That's like big.
It is.
But I'll try to keep it short. Well, basically, you and I, both therapists when we met. You had 2 young boys. I had no kids. I had never been married. And we fell madly in love while we were both specializing in eating disorders. We were both eating disorder therapists, and I also had a private practice doing couples counseling. And our relationship was awesome. Had great time with the boys. You had them 50% of the time. Things were great. We got engaged, and that's when we kind of moved in together, and I got bunk beds and a station wagon because I thought that's what you do when you have stepkids. You buy a freaking station wagon.
I was like, wow, she bought a station wagon.
What in the world? I'm so from the Midwest. Okay.
It was a nice station wagon.
And then, we got married, and on our honeymoon, we came home from our honeymoon, and 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant, and it wasn't just with one, it was with 2.
Booyah.
And I'm a twin, and I didn't even, skipped a generation. And I wasn't even one that really was like, yeah, I could do children. I was 37, I think, when we got pregnant with the twins. Mm-hmm. And so it was exciting. I was like, oh my gosh, EJ's already been a dad. He's got this down. There's 2 of them. Oh my, what's that going to be like? It was just overwhelming. Our pregnancy was so fun, right? We had so much fun. I ate ice cream every night, and I normally don't like ice cream. The boys got to see my belly get huge.
Bigger and bigger.
And I was just like, I'm going from 0 to 4 kids, all under 5 years old in a year and a half, because we got engaged after a year and a half of being together. But I was like, this is going to be so cool.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. I had never even changed a diaper. Never. Okay, so these twins were born, and it's a long story, but they had some kind of hospital worker had been infected with something. So we had to all get these massive doses of antibiotics. The twins were 5 pounds each. And let's just say, I really, truly think that's what led to colic. But these twins had colic
for 6 months.
9 months, honey. Not 6 months, 9 months. I remember. That. And I breastfed for a year. Looking back, I wish someone would have been like, Tarah, supplement, do something. But the pediatrician at the time was like, just keep doing what you're doing. And I would cry. I'm like, but I haven't slept in 5 days. I nurse every hour. They're not gaining weight.
Super couch.
And I had severe postpartum. Yes. Severe. So that year of the twins, I had never felt so much overwhelm in my whole life. And I was like, what just happened? And I did not sign up for this. And in our relationship, very quickly, because I thought you just knew what to do and that you would take care of it. And so basically what happened is we totally broke down. And I remember crying, right? Because the only time that they would really sleep is when they were in the double stroller. So I went to Reed Park, which is a little park in Tucson, and I was sobbing and I was like, what just happened with my life? I think the twins were like maybe 11 months old or something. And I called EJ and I said, EJ, we have to help us and we have to help our community, because if two trained therapists are having this hard of a time and I am like divorcing you in the minivan we had to buy, by the way, go from station wagon to minivan. I said, we've got to figure this out. And that is kind of the whole idea. And I remember EJ was like, no, I don't really like doing couples work. And I was like, oh, well. So that was the whole thing. Like, we have these skills, but those skills went out the window because it was the most stressful time for me. The colic and the crying and the not sleeping like drove me crazy in addition to the postpartum. And then bam.
So then life sort of opened up a window and we jumped right through it with Tarah's idea of like, let's start a program that is just for couples. Let's go out and help people in our community. And through that, we did a lot of research. We were very intentional. We had both worked with couples and we felt like we had learned some things that were like sort of systematically not great about couples work, and we won't get totally into that. But basically what we did was we spent a big chunk of time creating a curriculum, creating a method in which we were going to treat couples. And really at that point, it was just the two of us. So we spent a few years, the two of us, and two things happened. One, couples that worked with us really got a lot out of it. They had great experiences. They enjoyed it. Their relationships got better, and we got super duper busy.
Well, and another thing too is like we had to practice the skills to see if they would work in order to develop the method that we did. So we knew, hey, like I remember code word being one of the first ones. Like, hey, honey, if I say this code word, that means stay away from me. I'm not in a good. So all of these things we tested. We took both of our training and experience and we combined them together to really provide a structured method for couples to get through whatever it is. We help them with infidelity, with conflict, with parenting, with blended family, you name it, we have seen it.
And something you alluded to there is really important. We not only were continually working on this method and shifting it and changing the manual, but we also were really using it as much as we could for ourselves. So we were in the process of it improving our relationship as well.
And then, yes, like you said, it was like 2020 or something, and we got really busy, and couples were like on almost a year wait list to see us. And I know, couples cannot wait even a month, but these couples were willing. And I said, EJ, I think that this relationship renovation method we designed, I think we can teach this to other therapists. I was a little scared. I was like, no one can do it like us. But actually, that turned out to be one of the best gifts because we now have 12 relationship renovation therapists at our center, and it has opened up our window of podcasting, which has now impacted the world.
Yes. I mean, it's done a couple of things. Is like now locally where we live, we're helping an exponential number of clients. We have hundreds of couples coming in and out of our center, getting really quality treatment, getting out of our program, feeling really confident about their relationship. In the midst of this, like I have a background in media. And so I was like, we got to do podcasting. It's like so much fun. It's another way for us to really get the word out there. And so what we've done is we've locally expanded into helping more and more couples. We've spent the last 4 years building this podcast, and this podcast has been amazing. We have listeners from all over the country, all over the world. And now we're at the verge of a big expansion for ourselves on the media side. And we really want to clarify for you guys what our mission is. For a long time, our podcast has been very focused on we bring experts on and we talk to them, and Tarah and I talk about our relationship and we talk about concepts that we think are important. We bring on therapists, right? And people have just loved it. But recently what we've gotten is just a ton of couples writing us emails, reaching out, telling us about what they're struggling with. And we've started to address that. And what we really want to do in our next step, and our next step involves, we just finished building a podcast room that's like beautiful.
Literally just finished.
Yeah, literally, this is our last audio only
God, it's going to
podcast.
start being video and I have to do makeup and hair. Oh,
Yeah.
or maybe not.
And so we have this video podcasting that's about to begin. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to increase the amount of information that we can put out on social media. It's just going to really expand our footprint and ways we can connect with you. But we want to make another like really important shift that we think is going to do what our developing mission is. And our mission is to build a community of people worldwide who are dedicated to growing as individuals, growing in their
Relationship wellness.
and
Yeah.
supporting each other and understanding like we are all in this complex game of making a healthy, loving relationship. And it's not easy.
It is not easy, but having this kind of community, sharing stories, hearing other people's stories and how they got through. We want to be interviewing a ton more couples, whether that have gone through our at-home program or just reach out and say, hey, we would be willing to be on your podcast sharing this story, or could we get support from this?
Yes, we think that one powerful way that we can shift what we're doing is we're going to begin to interview a lot of couples because we're
gonna be so
all
fun.
we're all unique, but we're also very similar. And so we want to interview couples of all ages, of all ethnic and religious, cultures, of different areas of the country. And we're just going to talk to couples over and over and over about like what's going on in your relationship. And hopefully what that's going to do is it's going to help us really create this community of people who support each other in growing.
And this is important, learning the skills needed to have healthy connecting relationships that last.
So we're asking you out there, if this is something you're like, oh my gosh, I would love to get on and talk to these two like normal people, but also therapists who have perspective, who have tools. We want you to come on and we want you to tell your story. We're going to interview you. We're going to get to know you, but then we're also going to offer you some, a little bit of tools here and there and like perspectives and things that might work for you. We know we can't solve your problem in, an hour or a half hour interview.
We can give you hope and direction and resources.
And by doing that, it'll also be exponential because whatever problem it is that you come in and talk to us about, there's thousands of people who have that same thing. And they won't be sitting there thinking they're alone or uniquely broken. They're like, oh my gosh, it's the most normal thing in the world to struggle with a blended family or communication.
And you don't have to be in the Tucson community. So it can be worldwide. And we have like a little TV in there and like it could be through Zoom. And there's also some couples that are like, well, what if I don't want to be videoed? Totally get that. We can just make sure the camera doesn't go there and just audio is being picked up. So just to let you know, if you don't want to be on camera, you do not have to be. We have some couples that want to share their story of infidelity, but they don't want their faces to be seen. And we totally respect that. We are very, some people don't even want to be on our podcast. They're just like, hey, here's an idea. Can you discuss it and let us know when it airs? Absolutely.
Yeah. So local people, we'd love to have you in. If you're anywhere near Tucson, Arizona, you want to make a trip here, you want to join us in our studio, we'd love to have you in studio. If you're from someplace else, we have a really great new partner that we're going to be working with to have like really high quality video of you. If you are elsewhere, we're going to be looking at you up on a screen in the studio. You'll be able to see us. It's going to be amazing.
We have a little neon podcast sign. It's so cute.
It's
okay,
beautiful.
I'm sorry. It's adorbs.
No, we are just super excited because we've seen the impact that the work we've been doing and our therapists at our center have been doing, and feedback from listeners and how much they've got out of Relationship Renovation podcast. And so we're just ready to pump it up to a next level. And we need your help a little bit. We need your stories. We need you to come on with us and join us in this journey of human development, of loving each other the way we want to love one another.
And normalizing and validating that relationships are hard. But if you really are intentional and you have the skills and you learn the skills, doable. Yeah. Very doable.
So we are super excited for 2024 to connect with all of you more deeply. I can't wait to meet some of you. It's just going to be a blast.
And while we're just talking about that, because it is the new year, talk with your loved one and create some intentions for your relationship in the year 2024. What is something you want to develop, cultivate, take emotional risks on? I mean, that's just always such a great conversation.
Absolutely. Because when we get together and we communicate in kind and loving and honest ways, it shifts us as individuals. It shifts our relationship. And we are here to just support all of you in that process. Because as Tarah says, we all deserve an amazing, loving relationship.
Yeah. So thank you for listening. Thank you for all of our valued listeners who send in feedback and comments and thank yous. And it's so appreciated. Every second of the day, I feel grateful.
Yeah, we have immense gratitude for you all being on this journey with us.
Here's to an amazing 2024, and take care of yourself, take care of each other. Let's change the world.
All right, we'll see y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
Me and you just singing on the train, me and you listening to the rain, me and you, we are the same, me and you have all the fame we need. Indeed, you and me are we.